Hey everyone, Richard here, Metal Fan, and today we talk Ram It Down by Judas Priest. Now, right away, let's get into this album. Now, one thing I forgot to mention on the Turbo review was that the band was initially going to make a double album with Turbo and this album, Ram It Down. I feel like this album is kind of like sort of like the sequel to Turbo, sort of like a part 2 almost. But honestly, there were some songs that were on Ram It Down that were initially recorded from Turbo they're sort of like leftovers that were put on this album, Ram It Down. Now, this came out 2 years after that, in 1988. Now, what do I say about this album? It's not bad, but it's the same game. It's not good. It's kind of in the middle almost. It's better than Turbo, I will say. That's for damn sure. I feel like Judas Priest had made some improvements on this album a lot. There's some songs with synths, but it's not on. It takes up nearly the entire goddamn album. Which let's just get into this album right away. Now the album opens up with the title track, "Ram It Down," which starts off with a really great scream from Rob, and it's just ripping. It's just blazing solo. Honestly, it's one of my favorite songs off this album. I think it's a pretty good song, and I love it a lot. Next song is called Heavy Metal, which is pretty much what Judas Priest are, and they're supposed to be, unlike Turbo. That's another story. Let's just leave it at that. Heavy Metal has a really crazy guitar solo, and it's just the song itself is really catchy. I really love it a lot. Then we get to Love Zone. Now, Love Zone kind of reminds me a little bit of Led Zeppelin almost, mainly in the playing. I thought it was pretty interesting. I thought it was a really good song. Alright, next song is called Come and Get It. Very mid-paced song. Thought it was pretty okay if you ask me. Then we get to the next song is called Hard as Iron. I really love the lead playings from Glenn Tipton and KK Downing. Thought it was pretty great. And I really loved the double bass playing from Dave Holland. Also, sadly, this was the last album with Dave Holland before he left or got fired. I don't really know. Next song is called Blood Red Skies, which honestly, I feel like this is a song that was left over from Turbo because it had sort of like a very heavy synth, and it was kind of eh. Then we get to the next song is called I'm a Rocker, which has a very weird guitar intro. I feel like it's sort of very experimenting with the guitars. I thought it was kind of okay. Then we get to the next song is called Johnny Be Good. Now this is actually a cover song. This was originally done by Chuck Berry, and honestly this song is kind of I didn't really care for this song a lot on it, to be honest. I mean, I can understand that they were kind of influenced with sort of bluesy and stuff, but I don't feel like this was kind of fit with Judas Priest in my opinion. Anyway, that's just me. Moving on. Next song is called Love You to Death. Pretty okay. I thought it was pretty good if you ask me. Then the last song on the album is called Monsters of Rock, which has a very, very slow build-up at the beginning. And that sort of builds up slowly, I should say. And then, but the chorus itself is pretty meh. But it's an alright overall song. Now overall, Ram It Down by Judas Priest. It's not a bad album, but it's not really their best, if I could say that, but which we'll talk about best one, but which I'm pretty sure all of you probably know by now, but we'll get into that when we get into that. Now overall, I'm going to give Ram It Down by Judas Priest a solid 7 out of 10. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys later, and keep it metal.